Chase Lee Hockey with the Blue Futon. And before I talk about this movie, which is called Ratsasan, I'm probably saying that completely wrong. Ratsasan. I think it has another name to it. But before I talk about what this is, please give me a recommendation of more Indian serial killer movies. I'm a sucker for Zodiac. I'm a sucker for serial killer movies. And this one delivers. Before I talk about this, let's run that intro. So Ratsasan, I'm probably saying it completely wrong. It could be Ratsasan, it could be Ra. No, it's probably Ratchasan. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, quick synopsis. A rookie cop attempts to track down a serial killer who is murdering young schoolgirls. Like I said in the intro, give me a recommendation for serial killer movies. But did I like this one? I thought this was a fantastic serial killer movie, but there are some interesting flaws that I think need to be talked about. So with that, I'll give the negatives of this movie first. So to me, one of the biggest negatives is the tone of the movie. And what do I mean by that? The first 30 minutes, I did not know if this movie wanted to be a serial killer movie or kind of be a slapstick comedy. Even though slapstick comedy might not be the right way of saying it, it more is this like forging of a signature and this weird humor where you're just like, okay, we are talking about a girl that just got her eyes drilled out, stuff happening to her private parts, her hair pulled out, and just fucked up shit happening. But then we go into this weird humor-esque aspect where I'm like, I don't know where we want to go with this story. Do you want to be kind of a humor-esque serial killer movie? Or do you want to be this serious serial killer movie? And I think after that first 30 minutes, it knew what it wanted to be, and it wanted to go in the more serious route. Which I understand why it wanted to do that, to kind of get this family dynamic of having some lightheartedness. Because when it gets to a certain point of the movie, the lightheartedness is gone. It is completely diminished. And that's a positive, but I'm still going to talk about one more negative. And I think it's the final reveal and the magician aspect of it. I understand what it was trying to do with the magician aspect of it, but I think some of it was a little bit too far-fetched at the end. That's all I'm going to say. Something with playing cards, I think it could have been extremely well done, but it turned a little bit into a circus, if you want to put it that way, and it just didn't fit the overall message of what it was trying to do. So with that, I'll go on the positives because the rest of the movie is positives. It is paced extremely well. When it needs to hit you in the gut, it hits you in the gut. When it needs to be a horror movie, it is a horror movie. To me, this is more horror movie than anything I've seen this year, even though this came out in 2018. People are saying like Nope was a scary movie. Nothing scary about Nope. To me, this is real horror. Not this alien shit or like, to me, Conjuring to me is pretty damn scary. But I know some people find like random stuff super scary. To me, this is scary. There's a scene in a church, if you want to put it that way, in a basement with a girl and the serial killer and running through this maze. That is real horror. That is real scares. And this movie completely shows it to a freaking T, where I was goosebumps and I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like I was actually like getting scared in that moment. And I think that is really, really good filmmaking for what it was trying to do. And just the themes when it goes to that is extremely well done. This puts a lot of ego into the movie. And what do I mean by that? This shows that a lot of people are willing to, their ego is just so high. And it is very frustrating, especially with the female cop of like, I'm going to do everything. You don't know what you're talking about. And even though you might be right, I'm going to do it my way because I just have the ego, the hubris of saying, fuck you. I am going to do it my way or the highway. Even though you're going to let 15-year-old girls die? No, because you have an image to keep. Those people are out there in the world, and fuck them hard, because it is like you really don't care about other people except yourself. And this movie does extremely well done of putting it that way. And there are some strong themes about this guy who becomes a cop, wanting to be like a movie director, and how there's a good circle about serial killers. And I do think there is a underlying image of how we are fascinated by serial killers. and I'm that way. So this movie is probably like banging me on the head, like, hey, stop it, stop being like fantasizing about serial killers. I'm not fantasizing about serial killers. Hell no. I find the documentaries interesting, but some people are completely hardcore about it. There's a museum in LA called the Death Museum, and it fantasizes about serial killers, and it shows fucked up shit in this museum. I went in it because I was more of like, it's a museum. I'm interested into that kind of stuff, but it was dark. And I know some people are just really, really into it, but I like serial killer movies as revenge plots and shit like that. Of just like the psyche. I think I'm not like about the serial killer, but the psyche of why this person does it. And this story of showing it is a good story about bullying and everything like that. But like I said, it could be a little bit far-fetched when it comes to the magician and the story. It reminds me of The Boy or The Orphan and stuff like that. But I truly enjoyed this serial killer movie. It had the right themes overall, the right message, the right scares, the right action, the right gore, what it's needed to show. Even though it wasn't too grotesque, it was grotesque enough to know what was actually happening. It had enough hubris in it, had enough fucked up characters of like the ego and everything like that. But like I said, the ending can be a little bit far-fetched, and the beginning can be a little bit tonally confusing about where are we going. But this is dark. This goes into dark territory about abuse, about sexual assault, about just fucked up shit. And my goodness, the director did an extremely well job. The actors did an extremely well job. And my God, there's a gut punch in this movie with a white car. Once it hit, I think I had to rewind the movie like 2 times to be like, am I watching this correctly? And I was. And I was like, oh my God, we are actually going there. And this movie takes no prisoners. So Ratsasan will receive a 4.5 out of 5 with Futon, which equals that 90%. So see the Critics News Course gave this one. So maybe I'm wrong on Rotten Tomato, but there are 0 reviews for the critics and fewer than 50 audience score. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. I don't know. Let me look at the director if it's the right one. I mean, it's got to be. I got to look at this director to see what else he's done. So his newest movie is IPC 376. What's that about? About a crime? Okay. So it looks like he likes these crime movies. So I'm digging this guy. So I'm going to have to look at this guy's resume and continue on because I dig this shit. I dig what he's doing. So anyway, do you agree with my 90%? Am I wrong? Is this one of the better serial killers that came out of India? Or is there more serial killer movies that you recommend for me? Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know anything else Bluetoontopia. You Bluetonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. And seriously, that white car scene was fucking brutal. And they didn't have to go that route. They did. They had balls, and the balls were big. That's not something to laugh at, but watch this movie.